Here's Jeopardy!
We are back for week number 4 of VTV Jeopardy, and we've got something special for you today. Our winners from all of the previous weeks have come together, and today they go up against the teachers. And we have an incredible board with us today. Let's meet our guests and see who we have with us. From left to right, we have Mr. Miller, Mrs. White, and our returning champion, Molly Stapleton. Mr. Miller, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good afternoon. I teach Spanish here. I've been at HF this is my 13th year, and I lived in Costa Rica for a couple of years.
Okay, well, welcome to Jeopardy. Mrs. White?
I'm Mrs. White. I am the head coach for chess. I teach engineering and math. I am also the assistant coach for Mathletes and Scholastic Bowl.
All right, and Molly, returning champion, scored 6,000 points on our last game. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Molly. I'm a sophomore. I'm on the swim team, and I'm going to join Mathletes soon.
Okay, joining the Mathletes team. Great group of people we have here today. Let's take a look at the board if everybody's ready to play the game. So let's take a look and see what our categories are today. We have 6 good ones for us, and let's take a look. First category up for grabs today, it's called dog breeds. Okay, we're looking for the breed of dog. In the second category, SWSC schools. It's the conference that we are in. We name the mascot, you name the school. Where am I? We're going to tell you where something is. You tell us what state it is in. Morning cereal. Okay, we're talking about cereals, as you can expect. Car logos. We show you the logo of a car. You tell us what the brand is. And finally, all things MJ. We're talking Michael Jackson today. Everything about Michael Jackson will be on the board. Our returning champion has control of the board. Molly, you start things off.
Can I have SWSC schools for 200?
Answer. The Griffins. Mrs. White.
What is Lincoln Way East?
Lincoln Way East is correct for 200. Your board.
I'm going to go with SWSC schools for 400.
Answer. The Porters. Mrs. White.
What is Lockport?
Lockport is correct.
I'm going to keep going with SWSC schools for 600.
Here you go. The Raiders. Mrs. White.
What is Bolingbrook?
That is correct.
SWSC schools for 800.
Answer. The Thunderbolts. And time is up on that one. Looking for Andrew. The Andrew Thunderbolts. You want to finish the category?
Yes, I do.
All right, for 1,000. Here it is. The Chargers. Molly.
What is Stag?
Stag is correct. You have control of the board.
Car logos for 200.
Here it is. Mrs. White.
What is Tesla?
Tesla is correct.
I'm going to go car logos 400.
Answer? Mr. Miller.
What is Toyota?
Toyota is correct. Your board for the first time.
I'll do car logos 600.
600. Mr. Miller.
What is Cadillac?
Cadillac is correct.
800 cars.
Mr. Miller.
Audi.
Audi is correct.
And we'll do 1,000.
And for 1,000. Mrs. White.
What is Mercedes-Benz?
That is correct. You're back in control of the game.
I'm going to go with all things MJ for 200.
All things Michael Jackson. Here's the answer. It's the name of his equally talented sister who was a chart topper herself with Rhythm Nation. Mrs. White.
Who is Janet Jackson?
Janet is correct.
Oh, same category.
Okay. It's what MJ's Disney-themed house was named. Mr. Miller.
What is Wonderland?
That is incorrect. Mrs. Miller, or Mrs. White.
What is Neverland?
That is correct, yes, Neverland.
All things MJ for 600?
For 600. It was the name of the album that followed his record-breaking Thriller album.
What came after Thriller?
And time is up. What is bad?
Oh,
what is
sure was.
bad?
That was a bad question.
Still yours, Mrs. White.
All things MJ for 800.
Answer. It was the name of MJ's pet chimp. Mrs. White.
What is Bubbles?
Bubbles is correct, yes.
All things MJ for 1,000.
And back to 1,000. Close to HF, it's the city that MJ grew up in as a child. Mrs. White.
What is Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana is correct. Nice job on that board. Still yours.
All right. Morning cereals for 200.
Morning cereals. Tony the Tiger yells, "They're great!" Mrs. White.
Dang. What is Frosted Flakes?
Correct.
Morning cereal for 400.
Answer. The large-billed bird known as Toucan Sam is the mascot for this cereal. Molly.
What is Fruit Loops?
Fruit Loops is correct, yes.
600 for morning cereal.
600. And it is the daily double. So, Molly, you have 1,400 points at this junction of the game. How much do you want to bet?
400.
400 points. Here's the question for only you. Snap, crackle, and pop.
Rice. What is Rice Krispies?
Rice Krispies is correct. Yes, nice job for 400 points in the daily double. It's still your board.
800 morning cereal.
All right, here's the answer. A heart-healthy cereal, its honey nut flavor is the most popular. Mrs. White.
What are Cheerios?
Cheerios is correct.
Morning cereal for 1,000.
And the final one in this one. Fred Flintstone is on the box of this colorful cereal. Mr. Miller.
What are Fruity Pebbles?
That is correct. Back to your board with just a few categories left.
I'll take Where Am I for 200.
For 200. It's the largest canyon in the United States, known as the Grand Canyon. Mr. Miller.
What is Arizona?
Arizona is correct, yes.
400, Where Am I?
Answer. It houses the greatest concentration of salt water that is not an ocean in the United States. Mr. Miller.
What is Utah, Salt Lake City?
Utah is correct, yes. We're looking for states.
Okay. 600, Where Am I?
All right. Answer there. This state has more people living in it than any other in the United States. Mr. Miller.
What is California?
California is correct, yes.
Where Am I 800?
Answer. It was the 50th and last state to join America in 1959. Mr. Miller.
What is Hawaii?
Hawaii is correct.
And 1,000, please.
And for 1,000.
Killing it.
Home of the Superdome, which housed residents during Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Mrs. White.
What is Louisiana?
Louisiana is correct. Nice job on that board for everybody.
All right, I'm going to go with dog breeds for 1,000.
Dog breeds. Here we go. They've tried to avoid this category as long as they can. Here we go for 200. These long-bodied dogs are often called a wiener dog. Mrs. White.
What are dachshunds?
That is correct.
Dog breeds for 1,000.
1,000. She's skipping, going to 1,000. Many laws now ban this breed from areas, especially around kids. Molly.
What are pit bulls?
That is correct.
800 for dog breeds.
There were 101 of them in a Disney movie. Molly.
What are Dalmatians?
Correct.
600.
For 600. This breed was the spokesman for Taco Bell, uttering the words, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." Molly.
What is a Chihuahua?
That is correct. And the final question on the board today comes here. These very loyal and smart dogs usually make up the police canine units. Mrs. White.
What are German shepherds?
That is correct. So our board is complete. Nice job by all of our contestants. Not a whole lot of incorrect answers today. So let's take a look and see how much you guys have earned. A very close game today, and it will all come down to Final Jeopardy. So let's take a look at the Final Jeopardy question. Today's, or not the question, but the Final Jeopardy category is Olympic Golds. Olympic Golds. Don't let anybody see how much you're wagering, but write down on one side how much you are wagering in the final category, Olympic Golds. So let's get into the Final Jeopardy question. Olympic Golds is the category. Here's your answer. He is the most successful and most decorated Olympian of all time, with a total of 28 medals in the pool. The question again, he is the most successful and most decorated Olympian of all time with a total of 28 medals in the pool. Molly, you had 4,200 points. We go to you. What was your answer?
Question mark. I don't know.
She did not know, and she wagered all 4,200 points. So that takes her down to 0. And unless somebody else did that, she has no chance to win. So we go to Mr. Miller. What was your answer?
Who is Michael Phelps?
Who is Michael Phelps? That is correct. And you wagered how much?
3,500.
3,500. So that is going to take you to a total of... So we'll see what Mrs. White did here. First of all, did she get the right answer? Your answer was, who is
M.
Michael?
Phelps.
Yep, M. Phelps. That is correct, as long as we have the last name. And you wagered how much?
$300.
300 points, so that is not going to be enough. So it will be Mr. Miller right now who wins our first round of Teacher Jeopardy. Congratulations, Mr. Miller.
Congratulations.
He will be back in 3 weeks to compete against the next 2 winners, where we have teachers going up against students as well. Congratulations. Thanks a lot for joining us on Jeopardy today. We'll see you back here next week.